Marhaba, and welcome to the Matrix Green Pill, where real people connect.
Hello, and welcome back to the Matrix Green Pill podcast. I'm Melvin Abraham, and today I am keen to introduce our podcast guest for the week, Ramessh Ramakrishnann. Well, Ramesh is an accomplished professional with banking, finance, insurance combined with technology. He's also a mentor to Leap Sports, a Dubai based sports management firm. Ramesh, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Good afternoon, Melvin. Pleasure talking to you. Merry Christmas and advanced Happy New Year wishes to all.
Compliments of this season to you, Ramesh. Let's just start by giving our audience a little background about yourself.
I'm based in Dubai. I have a profession and a passion. My profession is I head technology for a Swiss-based life insurance company in Dubai. But sometimes passion has a larger role in everyone's life. So is sports for me. And I'm the mentor for Leap Sports, which is a sports management firm based in Dubai. And I also mentor a few other companies. And one of them is Cruise Mind Matters, which deals more in music therapy. And I also do mentor a few tech startups.
You're definitely not someone who likes to look before you leap. Yeah, you're generally someone who just takes the leap of faith given the number of pies you have your fingers in. Ramesh, now we all know that you are, really well traveled. You have lived across 9 countries and you've had the opportunity to experience diverse cultures, diverse foods. Let me ask you, coming to the subject matter of food, what's been your most favorite one and why?
Being a vegetarian, I'm not a very food fuzzy because of the fact when you travel a lot, I always believe in trying and adjust to what you get because that's one key quality which will take you to greater heights and it will give you more exposure. So being a vegetarian, I generally, if it's North Indian or South Indian, I go with whatever I get. So not really a food fuzzy guy as such.
Let's take a leap into Leap Sports. So tell us a bit more about Leap Sport and how it actually came to be.
To be brutally honest, it was just a conversation which I had with some of my friends in a coffee shop. And I used to bring Ravichandran Ashwin in 2016 and to do master classes, leadership talks. And we used to work with a few academies. When I used to get Ashwin, then that was the thought, okay, if we can connect leading cricketing players at the grassroots level to the academies here in Dubai, if every kid gets to experience and brush shoulders with the greats, one small input could change the career of a sportsman. And I've always believed this because all powerful situations in life, it gets by a small advice. But sometimes we don't realize that. I've seen that happening. And so that is how Leap Sports was formed in principle with an objective to connect celebrity sporting legends from all sports to grassroots levels and create that positive impact on the society as such. And most importantly, build good human beings. Because that is one of the reasons why when I get players, they don't just coach. They talk, they give pep talks, they share their life experiences because that is more valuable than giving a technical input.
So you're bringing celebs, but it goes beyond sports over here. So tell us a bit more about your association with Ashwin.
More than a player, I admire Ashwin as a coach for the fact because I've seen quite a few players now. He's one person who's commit to the core. And to be brutally honest, if you've coached 300 kids, he will remember the names of all the 300 kids. And he'll be able to point out one improvisation in each one of them. Because to give you a realistic experience, we did a camp in 2016 December. There was a meet and greet. And we were having almost 90 students and talk about whether the kid is a batsman or a bowler. And one key area of improvisation, 90 kids just having spent 48 to 72 hours and just telling it by heart is not a joke. Only if you're passionate, only if you're committed, you can do it. And the second thing which I admire in him is he never looks at the watch. Because I know if you got a camp from 9 to 12, there was an instance where it went from 12 to 2 and he hadn't eaten anything. And he was having press interviews after that. So we were already late for that. And I actually was forcing him, let's finish it off because you need to quickly have a bite and then go to the press meet. He refused. In fact, he said, no, I've come for this. Let me do my job here because I wanted to give something back. So you hardly find these kind of qualities in sporting legends who've already established, and there's no need for them to do it. So they can only stick to the committed time of 9 to 12 and move on. And this is not just once. Every time he does that commitment and the kind of passion he has on the field is very different.
And it's one of the reasons why he's among the top players, and he just won India a test match not 2 days ago. So amazing to see. And I'm guessing that's the synergies you see between Leap Sports and people like Ashwin.
Anyone for that matter. In fact, we worked with Ashwin, we worked with Dinesh Karthik. Dinesh Karthik is an inspiration of, if someone wants to know how to make a comeback, they have to take Dinesh Karthik as an inspiration. How to come out of tough situations in life, how to charge yourself, how to back yourself, no matter what. Even if the world writes you off, you decide what is right for you. So he is an example, a great example for the next generation, not to get funked up when things don't go their way, or today we are bound with so many distractions and people commenting on what is right, what is wrong for you, but you take your own decisions. And Dinesh Karthik is one of them. And there's so many other players whom we about. And to be honest, we had Paddy Upton. Paddy is one of my favorites, talks about mental well-being, the kind of inputs he gives. And then we also try and get Paddy to talk to the grassroots levels here, because when Paddy Upton is giving advice to the legends, he's coming with that same frame of mind and tweaking it and giving it to the grassroots levels in a language they understand. And that is hard to get. It's a premium product today.
I love the inputs. Paddy Upton was obviously involved with the Indian team, I think, during their 2011 victory, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was with Gary Kirsten when India won the World Cup, and he's still with the Indian team now. He's joined back when Rahul took over as the coach. He was there with the Indian team in the Asia Cup in Dubai, where I got an opportunity to interact with him more in person. He's still with the Indian team.
Dinesh Karthik as well. Now, he's also the brand ambassador for Leap Sports.
Yes, he is. For the fact, because if you look at a tagline, it says beyond sports. For me, it is not just about getting players and connecting. That is one aspect of it. But what kind of impact you have on the society? What kind of impact you have on the next generation? What kind of messages you want to pass? Because today, first you have to be a good human being and you have to have that empathetic mindset within you. And then when you grow your sport, everything falls in place. For me, DK is someone whether he does commentary, whether he plays, he gives his best. The commitment is there. Doesn't worry about what the results are. Fine, whatever that is, that's let it happen. Let me just give my best. And most importantly, an extraordinary human being.
Qualities like these. So is this what you look for in an aspiring athlete? Empathy, good human being, talent?
Yeah, I look at three aspects. One is commitment. Obviously, commitment is the fundamental core, because if you're not whatever you do, it's not sports. Why I'm saying committed is you need to believe and back yourself. Because I always tell this to young guys, no one is going to come and back you up. So you have all these supporting mechanisms like dad, mom, coach, everything is there. But first, you need to back yourself. That's the fundamental thing. For that, you need to be committed, because only if you're committed, you'll be able to back yourself. The never give up attitude comes into place. Second thing is be good. Because if you follow the process, you stick to what you do and don't get distracted what others do. Try and spread that positive energy and aura. You go move on to the next step. The third thing is take things as they come. Because today's generation lack the acceptance. So, for example, they play a match, they score in the next match, they don't play, they get funked up. It's important, you should get disappointed, but how you channelize that as a positive aspect to move on to the next level. Because that is where we focus to see how you convert even, I wouldn't call failure. I would say it's an experience, because we need to use different terminologies to instill the right psychological mindset in the next generation. That's the key.
It's not just important to jump with joy when or on the victorious side, but it's also how you take defeat or how you are gracious in your defeat, and what you learn from that is what you're imparting to the people you're managing as Leap Sports.
Exactly. And we have had an example. When you look at Mahendra Singh Dhoni, whether it's a victory or a loss, you see him very composed, and there's nothing which changes. Even when India won the World Cup trophy, if you look at the videos, the same calm and composure when India lost, because see, you do your best and then you get a result. Fine. You take lessons. You've trusted the process. It's given you a result, and move on and try and use it for the next level. And that's more important. That is what we should learn from legends beyond when, of course, fame, money, and all these things comes. These are all secondary byproducts.
The byproduct of the process that you are following. So what is the one advice you stand by as an entrepreneur in the sports field?
I would say there is nothing easy in life. So first, keep hitting it hard. I would always compare it with a test match. You keep working hard. You trust the process. Don't expect results to come quickly. If it comes, fine. Don't get carried away. But stay grounded, be humble, and keep working on yourself. And you will definitely see the light one day. And from there, you have to challenge yourself daily, because the question I ask myself is, am I doing a worthy job today? Do I deserve this? What I can do better? As I said, while you should back yourself, you should also question yourself. You are in control of yourself. That will be my tagline for the next generation.
I see that you take leap beyond sports, right? So, you jump onto the bandwagon. I see you're involved in music and culture. So how did that come about? And tell us a bit more about that.
In fact, in the pandemic, in the middle of 2020, when we were going through the pandemic, there were a lot of people from arts, music industry. So many people weathering their own storms. When I was getting more requests to support, and people were literally jobless, and everyone were just having their own issues and problems. So I decided we should use Lead Sports as a brand to do good to the wider society. In fact, I was even asked, it's a sports management company. Why are we supporting a musical fraternity? I said, at the end of the day, these are all lives. If you don't have the vision to value a human life, irrespective of the domain or you're aligned to, it doesn't matter. Good can be done from anywhere. It doesn't mean that you have to run a sports management company, or you could be in any field. But goodness can be done from all quarters. In fact, that is how we started, by identifying people who didn't even have the means to have a single meal a day. They were the targets, because I've used to talk to so many people when we used to support them with food and all. They'll say, we will have this and we'll spread it over for the next 10 days, so that I don't want to finish it off today and remain hungry for the next 9 days. So what we'll do, instead of having 3 meals a day, we'll have 1 meal a day for the next 10 days. In fact, I've heard people telling me this. And we were all so blessed to have sitting at the comfort of our homes, and being in Dubai, it was so safe. And on top of it, you had a job, your pay on time. So we were all blessed. So this is what I felt is we should do something back to society. When people around us are much, weaker, and they're suffering and they're weathering their own storms, if you're not doing any good at this point of time, there is no point in calling yourself a human being. In fact, that was the fundamental thought. And what I did is I pulled in my network, got people together, and then tried and whatever we could do. See, you can't fulfill everyone's wishes, but at least you create an impact on the society and people around you.
That's quite inspiring, Ramesh, and from our previous conversations, I see that you've always been keen on supporting society, making the world a better place. You believe that everyone should give back to society, however small an act that it is. And you've had an interesting career. You've built your career from the time you were 17. You're a self-made man, and you were passionate about sports. You're doing something in that field. You have a son who's pursuing cricket as a career. So how do you, as a parent and as a sports manager, ensure that he stays motivated and focused?
It's very simple. In fact, we have twins, a boy and girl. The first thing I do is I've never seen my son's name is Sanjay and daughter's name is Shruti. I've never seen Sanjay play a match. First thing every parent should do is stop meddling with their children's journey in a positive way. I'm saying that also adds in a lot of pressure. So what I generally tell Sanjay is, at home, stay committed, work hard, do your best. Don't get carried away by the results. Don't decide by what you experience today. There is something called tomorrow, and life goes on. There are momentary occasions in life. Enjoy that moment, but stay there, stay grounded, and then look for the next level. Because this is what every parent should tell their children, in my view. And what I also tell my children is, when you see that you can go the extra mile to help someone, do it. If you're convinced that's the right thing to do, that's what you should go after. Go by what your mind and heart says. The rest will follow automatically. Sometimes it may go well, sometimes it may not go well. That is okay. That's fine. Because if everything goes well, then there's no spice in life.
How is Leap Sports go the extra mile, and what can we look forward to from Leap Sports this year?
See, this year the intent is to try and get more players. In fact, we had Lakshmipati Balaji last month. We did a camp along with Sharjah Cricketers Association. And Balaji was very keen. He will restrict the number of kids because he wanted to give quality, which I liked. Because there are sometimes, if the view is commercial, you try and do more kids, do a wider camp and move on. But Balaji was quite opposite. He wanted to do more of quality. So they stuck to 20. And then I got a call from Shiva, who's the chief operating officer for Sharjah Cricket Stadium. There are a few kids who couldn't afford to even join this camp. If I'm right, I think some of them were from Afghanistan and some other countries. So I asked Shiva, okay, how many of them? And they said around 10. I said, okay, Leap Sports will take care of that. And in fact, I've seen some of them bowling in the nets. Extremely good, passionate sportsmen and good bowlers. So I told Shiva, see, doesn't matter where the talent is from. We should try and do good irrespective of where they come from. That's not what we are for here. So we got in those 10 kids. At the end of the camp, the kind of impact it had in the happiness you saw them on the face, no money cannot buy that. And so our objective is to try and do more and bring more players and give more exposure. It's not just cricket. We're also looking at chess. And in fact, Dinesh Karthik's wife, Deepika Pallikal, she's more accomplished as well. She's one of the inspiring sportswomen, sports personalities in India, where anyone should look for. Of course, squash is not a sport which is widely followed, but if you get to know more about her, it's more inspiring. In fact, when she was here, I did make her do a talk to some corporates as well. People were impressed. See, that's the kind of awareness you bring out, because everyone whom you talk to, you always get something inspiring. When I talk to you, Melvin, I learn from that. I will get inspired by something from you. But we should just keep looking for that. Again, that hunger should be there to learn and grow. If you have that hunger, if you have the appetite, you'll automatically grow without even your knowledge.
I know it's afternoon time. I've got plenty of hunger and appetite right now. That's some very interesting food for thought. It's amazing how inspiring this is, just in a short 20-minute conversation. The amount of things that you've shared that makes us think about what we are doing and what we aren't. Ramesh, in the interest of time, we're kind of heading towards the last segment of the show. And since you're a guy who gives rapid answers, we've prepared a rapid fire round for you. It's kind of like our version of the game show. So, Dhoni or Ganguly, the greatest Indian captain?
Ganguly.
What is your go-to comfort food?
Idli, if it is South Indian, and tawa roti if it is North Indian.
Messi or Ronaldo, the greatest player of all time?
Messi.
Okay, this one I'm sure will get you thinking. A.R. Rahman or Ilaiyaraaja?
A.R. Rahman.
I thought you would pick Ilaiyaraaja. What quote always inspires you?
There is never a dull moment in life.
True. Final one. Success in cricket, is it instinct or data driven?
It's instinct for a fact, because data is what? Data is the result of what you deliver by instinct.
So, well done on that. I'm glad that you shared very candid answers. And now, before we wrap up, we have to ask you about your green pill moment. So, this is a question for you. So, like I've mentioned before, you've started your career when you were 17, you're a self made man. So, what green pill advice would you give to your younger 17-year-old self?
Have an entrepreneurial mindset and have the appetite to explore more, and fail early and succeed early as well. And in principle, the mantra is entrepreneurial mindset is a must for any youngster.
What does that mean?
Those are the days when you finish or when you start. We always tend to go and start working on someone, because for the fact it could be a conservative family background, or it could be a financial need, whatever that could be. If you had the same, if anyway, for a fact, when you're going and working for someone and when you're already weathering your own storm, take that extra risk and start something on your own. Because that is the right state. That is one of the reasons why, especially in India, if you see people go and work for someone, and whereas in America, you have more of entrepreneurs. And I'm sure all the creamy layer in India go and work for the entrepreneurs in India who probably wouldn't have had an academic brilliance like the folks from India. And I'm talking based on the data and the reality in front of us. So we should have more entrepreneur mindset right from the young age, so that we have more people who are self-driven, who contribute to nation building, contribute to society. It doesn't matter where they are, in any country for that matter. So that's how we grow.
Well said, Ramesh. Well said. So, as we wrap up this segment, words by Ramesh: leap sports, leap at the opportunity, take a leap of faith. A quantum leap is all that you need that will take you from where you currently are to where you want to be. Thank you for sharing your inspiring journey with us today. I'm sure many others will be inspired to join hands with Leap. On maybe the philanthropic work you are doing will inspire others to do something on their own. A lot of listeners are inspired by your story and your advice. I'm sure one of them. But before we say goodbye, Ramesh, could you please tell our listeners where we can find and follow you? We'll put this in the show notes as well, but it would be good for them to have.
We are in Facebook. We are in Instagram. In Facebook, you have my contact details, and I can share my mobile number. Can I share it here, Melvin? Is that okay?
Interesting. I've never had someone do that, but please go ahead.
+971525793335. I'm sure, Melvin, you can put it on the notes here. The reason why is, Melvin, you said no one has shared, because you take decisions then and there. You don't postpone. When you have the appetite and hunger to do good, you're always available for people at any point of time. How you wire yourself is the key. And that's what I need to tell you.
Wise words by Ramesh. Thank you so much for joining us again. We wish you all the very best. And I'm sure we'll be looking forward to having some of your coaches and your guests on the show as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today, Ramesh.
Absolutely, Melvin. Pleasure talking to you. Good luck.
If you enjoy our conversations, please like and subscribe. See you next Wednesday.